Hey everybody, I'm on my way to go see Black Panther, Wakanda Forever! But I'm going to pass through the Wakanda celebration here at the Selden Arcade. In just a minute, I'm going to switch the camera on the front view as we walk through. I just want to give a little quick shout out, let everybody know where we're at. The Selden Marketplace here in Norfolk, just right past where the ferry was. I'm going to make it quick because my boat was late, so I only have like about 15 minutes to get 2 more blocks up the road, then up 3 flights of fucking stairs to get the cinema. So let's check out the Wakanda celebration.
Strong man. The dancers will collect the flags and we'll be back at 4 o'clock with a new dance called Soleil to celebrate the women warriors, the Dora Milaje of the Black Panther, and the strongest woman in Kenya. Come back at 4 o'clock. If you'd like more information about that Thanksgiving, please see Ms. Toya Turner. She's our house manager. She gets your information. And we thank Ms. Lafayette from Food, Shelter, and Home. Welcome to Wakanda.
surprise here for Black Panther, because holy crap. I mean, this is one busy Cineplex.
So, I'm here getting my tickets for Black Panther. I hope there is still, I hope there are still tickets left, so. The show starts at 4:15 when I'm going to, and you can see it's kind of a madhouse, so I'm looking forward to seeing this amazing film. Hey guys, it's me, and recording this review about a day after I've seen the movie. Hope you guys enjoyed the whole little journey to see Black Panther. It was an incredible film. It took me a day to kind of sit down and kind of think about what I want to say, because all the other videos I had were just rambling all over the place kind of things. First of all, I want to say how much I really enjoyed Klaue in this thing. I love seeing Andy Serkis not having to be, you know, all done up in CGI bullshit with ping pong balls on his face. He's actually a really great actor, and it's a shame that he doesn't actually get to do more things just as him. That said, there are so many amazing performances in that film that I just want to kind of get out the kind of cameo mustache-rolling villain first. Of course, Martin Freeman did a great job as one of my favorite characters of all time, which was Everett K. Ross, who was first seen in the Christopher Priest books, which I loved so much. Probably my favorite version of the Panther was Christopher Priest's thing. I think, well, maybe Don McGregor's, and then Chris Priest, because Don McGregor did some amazing, like, really woke stuff in the 70s and the 80s and stuff. Now, getting into the main cast, the important parts of the thing, not just the kind of the filler villains and the sidekick part of it. You had Chadwick Boseman was a fantastic, very stoic T'Challa, who really brought a lot without having to say a lot. I mean, you could kind of tell how he was feeling just by the way he presented himself in the film. When he was about to knock your ass out, he didn't have to knock your ass out. You just knew you need to shut the fuck up, because the king is mad and he's going to come after you. I think one of my all-time favorite characters in the entire thing was Shuri, because she was able to balance that whole smartest person in the room, as well as being the bratty little sister, and being a way to be kind of like a cutesy little foil for T'Challa without it being annoying and over the top. One of the things that people were worried about, they thought, well, the Marvel cinematic thing is to have a lot of humor, a lot of jokes, and while there were some jokes in the film, it was all very much earned. It was very much not in your face. You didn't feel like they were forcing laughs down you. When they came from surprising places like M'Baku, who is, they couldn't use his actual real superhero or supervillain identity, because I guess calling him the Man-Ape would probably turn some people off. But it was nice to see them bring in that portion of it. Michael B. Jordan was a really great villain, and I want to kind of talk a little bit about that. That's, you know, I know I'm still kind of bouncing around for different things, but Michael B. Jordan did a really great job, and he's more than made up for Fantastic Four. The one thing that has been bothering me, though, is people have been talking a little bit about breaking the Marvel curse, or breaking the whole Marvel villain curse, because a lot of people thought that the villains in the Marvel Universe haven't really been very strong villains. Ronan the Accuser, and outside of, like, Loki, they haven't really had these really big villains that felt like there was any stakes to them. And there's a fair assessment to that, but the idea is that Marvel usually has these really great villains, like, say, Magneto and Doctor Doom and Green Goblin, and in the comics, they're very fleshed out and very full of pathos. And sometimes, just like in Black Panther, you sometimes start rooting for the bad guy because you're like, you know, he's got a point. And we see that Michael B. Jordan has got a bit of a Magneto is right meme going on the internet, so if you haven't seen that, there it is. He did have a really strong performance in there. I liked I like the bits of him as an older kid, an older person, more than I like the whole daddy issue things that was in the film. But it really was a personal reason that Eric Killmonger hated Wakanda and hated Black Panther and hated everything else. It wasn't just so much, I want to take over the world, or I want to do this, I want to do that. And I'm trying to be very careful with not saying spoilers because it's still opening weekend, and we still have President's Day is tomorrow, or today, depending on how you are looking at it, or it might have been 3 weeks ago. I have no idea when you're going to stumble on this video. But, yeah, he had a very personal reason to want to be, or have to be, T'Challa's arch nemesis in this film. And he did some really terrible things in this film. And a lot of those were also very earned. And a lot of those things were things that you could say that he had, if not justification for doing them, you're like, it was a means to an end. And he believed that he had to go that route to get to where he had to be to make his plan basically come to fruition. The less I talk about that, the better, probably, because you get into very spoiler-laden things, and I don't really want to give away anything about the third act. I will say that that's the only part of it that I thought was kind of like, it got kind of weird, because CGI was a little wonky in places, and it kind of felt like a video game. And in certain places it felt like you're playing Injustice, and they're doing their super moves and stuff, and it did kind of come off video game-ish. But the fact is that the strength of the actors and the strength of the Dora Milaje, I will probably never pronounce that right, but having them on screen and showing off what an amazing group of warriors they are, having Shuri be this super intelligent tech person, and have the film kind of transcend from superhero to James Bondish espionage to almost a mystical place. Like it went kind of Doctor Strange in places. It went kind of Lion King in places. A lot of people have made that kind of Lion King joke, and I'm sure that if you have been on the internet for the past 3 months that they've been selling this movie, you've probably seen the memes of comparing T'Challa to Simba. Now, there's not much about the film that you could pick apart. It was a really well done film with real high stakes, personal stakes, but high stakes. It wasn't really ingrained with the Marvel Universe as much as the other ones were. And there are two end-credit sequences, a mid-credit sequence and a post-credit sequence, which will kind of throw us into Infinity War in May. And the response was fantastic. Like, if you guys have watched the first part of this video where I kind of went through the Welcome to Wakanda party, it really just made me just feel warm inside, because it's not just so much that it's a comic book movie and I'm always happy when people like the things I like. It's always nice to know that people are enjoying superheroes as much as I do. But it's also just the way that they were enjoying it, the way that they just had embraced this entire thing, this fictional world of Wakanda, and everyone just was dressed to the nines. They were wearing the dashikis, they were performing music and dance steps as they learned specifically for the film, spotlighting different countries within Africa, and this was an opportunity for a certain group of people to show their culture. Like, you've had Western European culture shoved down your throat pretty much in every movie since the dawn of Hollywood, and now here's another look at something, and it's not just like another Jackie Robinson movie, or it's not another slave movie, or it's not another thing like that. It's something fun. It's a popcorn movie. It's an action movie. It's a spy movie. It is pretty much everything that you could possibly want in the world of fiction. You know, it has a little piece for everybody. It has crazy animal acts in it as well, which I won't go into any further than that, because again, that's spoilers. When that happened, I was like, oh yeah, that's fucking awesome, and I want to see more of that. And that's the other thing about the film, is you do leave it wanting more than what you've seen, like, if it could have been 30 more minutes longer, I would have sat for 30 more minutes. Thankfully, I was in one of those great RPX things with the nice reclining leather chair and the nice surround sound and everything. Which, if you guys get a chance to go see it, 3D is great. There was not a big issue of that. I think that in the last, this past summer, or winter and summer, have been pretty good about that. Sometimes I'll go to a 3D showing of something and it will look weird to me. And the only time I think that the 3D didn't work, and you might be better off watching in 2D, is that sort of that part in the beginning where he's in Africa after he throws the little bombs down. It gets very, very dark, and sometimes I had to, like, move my glasses up to see a little bit better than I could with the glasses on, with the polarized filters on them. And the other thing is, there wasn't much that was given away in the trailers. I thought when we had 4,000 trailers that well, I'll have seen most of the movie by the time I actually get to go see the movie. But a lot of that stuff was within the first 30 minutes of film. Like, the stuff that you've seen in the trailers is pretty much most of the first 30 minutes. There may be a little bit of stuff in the third act in older trailers, but in the later trailers, but you didn't really see too much. Not much got spoiled, and there was just some amazing visuals, and I found myself in those sweeping vista shots when you're coming into Wakanda. I was just kind of like scanning the horizon and trying to take in as much of that sequence as I could to see every little bit and bob of the cities of Wakanda. And it felt small and large at the same time. It was weird that way, in which you could kind of go and have a very family-focused, very, I think what they said, like, a very Godfather idea of this family, this tribal strife, and this well, basically it was a movie about the chain of succession in a royal family, and that's at the heart of it. But despite it being a very, like, tight, close thing, you kind of got this idea. There's so much lore. The movie starts out with lore. You go back and you see every Black Panther that's ever been a Black Panther, all the way from the dawn of Wakanda. And I was like, if we could spend another 20 minutes there, I would love to see the first Black Panther. I would love to see more of that suit. The end credits were fantastic. They reminded me a lot of the Netflix opening sequences with, it was kind of like a mix between that and one of those James Bond openings, where you had the kick-ass music playing, and then you had all this weird, like, CGI characters that would pop up throughout this little, almost like one of those Disneyland 4D rides where you kind of go through and just these little images pop up over the music. But yeah, I was tremendously happy with it. And before I kind of cut out, because I don't want to run too long, I want to say that I am so super thrilled that this movie has gotten such a huge response. We're looking at probably 214 million or 218 million domestic take for the opening weekend for the first 4 days. I think the 3-day take was 194 million. There'll be a little thing somewhere in popped up here that I'll add in post, and it just goes to show you how well these movies do, and when you do a movie well, the audience will respond. Lots of people who would not know who Black Panther is went to go see it, not just because of the cultural resonance of it, which was a big reason. There was a big movement of cultural residency, but a big movement of people who were like, this is a Marvel movie, and I've got to see it. I've got to see every last one of them. This is the last movie before Infinity War, so I'm not missing anything. And we've seen a lot of really big openings, like Thor Ragnarok opened big, and Spider-Man Homecoming opened big. But Black Panther is going to eclipse them all, and it's going to look like it's going to be probably the 5th largest of all time openings. And so I give credit to Ryan Coogler, who can write his own ticket now. I mean, that man could probably get funding for pretty much anything he wants to do at this point. Kevin Feige, who, if he is not king of Hollywood at this point, he probably will be by May. Chadwick Boseman, who is just a action star in the making, and Michael B. Jordan, who is really showing off that even though you're in a popcorn summer movie, or in this case a winter movie because it's open in February, you can still give these very dramatic, indie feeling rich, deep characters. You know, you could tell that he did some research and went to a place to do this. So it's a long way of saying it was a great film. And I suggest everyone go out and see it. See it a couple times, because you might have to go through a few more times to kind of like take in all the stuff. And I can't wait for the next one. I said, you just bring on Infinity War, bring on Ant-Man and the Wasp, and make mine Marvel. Alright, so I appreciate you guys sitting with me for all of this stuff and whatever the hell else, however long that other stuff ran. If you want to see more reactions, I am on the Stardust app, and there'll be a tell you how to see me there. And yeah, just like and share and subscribe, and Patreon and all the other stuff. They'll be down below. It'll be in the description. And I promise my hair won't be as crazy next time, but you know, it is what it is. It's like 3 in the morning when I'm shooting this. So thanks guys, I appreciate it, and I will see you guys in the next video.